Hey everyone, Simon here again for the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment. And I've got a couple stories for you here today. The first one is about an ex-Trump staffer who, is suing because he supposedly kissed her, even though there's no witnesses. So, before I get into that, I'll ask everyone to please give me a thumbs up if you like the content, and also subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow, and because YouTube has changed their algorithms and they no longer want to recommend this type of material, if you hit the little bell, you'll get notified at least when I put out a new video that way. Okay, let me go ahead and get into the first story I have. It's about ex-Trump staffer. Her name is Alva Johnson. And like I said, she's suing because she has been traumatized by a supposed kiss by Trump when they were at a rally in Florida. Now, this story is kind of crazy, and I don't know why it's just now getting publicity. But this supposedly happened, in 2016 in August, something like that, when she was working on the campaign to get him elected. Now she's suing for an unspecified amount of money. I couldn't figure that out exactly how much, but this story is coming from the Washington Post, which we all know is a very, very credible source of information. I'm pretty sure that's the one owned by Jeff Bezos, the guy from Amazon. So all the rich guys are owning the media there and controlling what we see and hear. So, like I said, that's such a credible source of information there. So you really got to pay attention to all the things they put out, right? Well, this story was immediately shot down by Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, saying that this story is not only completely bogus, that there are actually a couple very credible witnesses who say that this did not happen. Now, those two witnesses were another campaign staffer who was there at the time, and also a lady named Pam Bondi, who was then the Florida Attorney General. And they've contradicted the accusations there by Alva Johnson. They said that it basically didn't happen. So now, not only did the witnesses say that it didn't happen, there's quite a bit of other evidence kind of shedding light on what Alva Johnson is all about. Now, she said that she's suing because of the alleged mental anguish and trauma and emotional damage that was caused to her by this event, this alleged event, must I say. I need to correct myself there. She said also that after the interview with Trump and Billy Bush that got a lot of attention, that that just, set her off and made things even worse. And she's just completely, permanently traumatized and damaged from this whole scenario. Now, what's interesting about that is that not only did the witnesses contradict her story, her own family members have had to file restraining orders on her because she has gone so far over the deep end with this story. She, I guess, started shopping for lawyers not too long after this supposed event happened, and they were upset with her about, making up the whole deal. And she's recently, filed a motion or whatever to seal all of that information so that when this story comes out, starting to get traction for some reason, that, all that past stuff about her is sealed, and we can't dig deeper into her story and why her family was even against her on this. Now, what's more interesting is that she was actually a Democrat before working for President Trump. That she voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012, but yet suddenly she went to work for Trump. Now that sounds like this was planned from the beginning, that this was some sort of a plant put in his campaign to set him up. In my opinion, this just seems all too crazy. Now also, not only was she a Democrat from the beginning, after this supposed incident happened where she was so traumatized, she continued to apply for jobs in the Trump, in his cabinet or whatever. So after he was elected, and after this incident that severely traumatized her, twice she applied to have a job with him. And now that makes no sense whatsoever, unless she was just in there to maybe try to get even more dirt on him. So why would you do that? Why would you continue to try to be around someone who traumatized you if that really happened? Again, none of this adds up, and it's just another piece of the puzzle there where they're trying to make Trump look bad. They're reaching for straws because that's all they have. Russian collusion and all those things. Been trying to find a single needle in a haystack for 2 years and come up with nothing, because there is nothing, and they're having to resort to things like Stormy Daniels and now this lady. I mean, come on. I hope none of you believe this story. Anyway, the comment section's open if you agree or disagree. Whatever you feel, I'd love to hear about it. I like to try to respond to every comment if possible. And anyway, let me know how you feel, but that's the story from my perspective. See you on the next one.